What's up, and welcome back to the 48 Men podcast. I have a very special guest today. He is my one and only brother from the same mother. Chance Huff, welcome to the podcast.
What's up? What's up? Excited to be here.
I feel like you thought that you were going to be the first guest on the podcast, and I've asked you now, so I feel like you can be grateful for where I slotted you in.
Yeah, I mean, top 10 is always a good thing to be, right?
You're not top 10 though. I think this is like my 14th, but that's okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with silver.
Well, silver would be second, so I think at this point you're like I think you just made like the finishing board.
I'll take a participation trophy.
But that's okay. So if you don't know Chance is my younger brother, but he's also my bigger brother. He is
not anymore.
Well, you're taller and you weigh more than me.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say you're my bigger brother, but you're not the stronger brother. I was gonna say that.
That's fair.
Would you agree with that?
Now, yeah.
all because I have a podcast.
Yeah, you just decided to get jacked up once you had a kid.
That is not true. I was trying to get big before I had a kid, but I have gotten bigger since I had a kid, so that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. A couple of years, I'll catch up.
You will. I will. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, because if you follow me on social media, you've probably seen me post a lot about Chance. But Chance is a pitcher at Georgia Tech, and on paper it seems like that's really cool, which it is. But you've had quite a journey to get there. So kind of explain to us what you're doing now and the journey to get to where you're at.
So now I'm in my second year at Georgia Tech, fourth year of college. My first 2 years I was at Vanderbilt, and when COVID hit sophomore year, transferred out. And then I was just looking for another good place to play baseball and a place close to home. So it was kind of really between Georgia Tech and FSU as to where to go. And then just kind of after talking with both teams and coaches, just Georgia Tech seemed like the better fit. So now I'm here, and second year is definitely a lot more enjoyable than the first one was, just because it was pretty weird with COVID and everything, and like not really being able to really get to hang out in groups and whatnot. So this year it's been a lot of fun, just kind of getting to further those connections and friendships that I made last year, and just actually really getting to hang out with a lot of people now, and go to class and whatnot. It's been a fun year.
And you're and explain your role for the team. You're a team captain. You're a Friday night starter. So kind of explain a little bit.
Yeah. So last year I didn't really do as well as I would have liked to, kind of leading up to the season. So had a bullpen role, and then wasn't really doing that great in that role. And so then I missed 2 weeks traveling, which was a pretty dark time. It was just
I forget about that.
I know.
That was so bad.
It was pretty tough. It was tough just because, I'd never missed a travel roster before. And then coming to this new school, and I felt like I hadn't really done that bad of a job, but definitely not as good as I know that I'm capable of. And kind of missed those 2 weeks and just kind of really hunkered down on what I thought I needed to work on. Then got back in the rotation, back in the bullpen, kind of became one of our bigger guys towards the end of the year. And then worked a lot over the summer and came back and just kind of took that leadership role, and just kind of connected with some of the younger guys on the team. And I felt like earned that respect to get to be awarded captain, or one of the captains of the team. There's two others, Colin Hall and Tres Gonzalez, both outfielders. And then I got to be the Friday night starter, which is a huge deal. Just kind of a really big accomplishment for myself.
Yeah. Well, last year, like you just said, you didn't make the travel roster for those two trips, those two games. How do you feel like facing adversity like that, fuels you, or do you feel like that can discourage you, or because I feel like a lot of times if people go through, a hard thing like that or adversity, they either want to, lay down and just kind of accept it, or the opposite and use that as fuel to kind of propel you forward. So,
I definitely say there's going to be both, because, whenever I figured out that I wasn't traveling, immediately I wasn't I'm going to use this as fuel to my fire and I'm gonna like get back up there. Like, I mean, I definitely kind of moped around for like a day or two.
I'm going to prove them wrong.
Yeah, like that wasn't my immediate thought, and that's okay if that's not. Just with really any failures in life, I just kind of like I definitely had to lean on some people for a couple days, like Christian, mom, dad, my fiance back at the time, girlfriend Maya, and just some of the coaches that I have good connections with, and just kind of like talked with them just about where I was at and just being honest with them. And I think that just helped a lot. And then kind of after those couple days of being sad and discouraged for not making the travel roster, then kind of being like, okay, like back to work. Like it's okay to take some time to kind of get used to the fact that you're not going to be, or like with that failure, it's kind of okay to take the time that you need, but not stay there.
Yeah. How do you feel what do you feel like your mentality has changed from like last year to this year, from, not being the person, or not being the guy that you thought you were going to be, like physically, like, playing a sport, to now being someone that's heavily relied on? Like, do you feel like you worked harder, you trained harder, or like you had a shift mentally, or what was your?
Trained harder. Maybe not trained harder, just trained a little smarter. Just worked on the stuff that I needed to work on, which was really just command. Like all my in a humble way, all my pitches are really good. And I just was, I guess, I was trying to make too good of pitches, and that made me throw a lot more balls than I needed to. So just kind of seeing the confidence change from last year to this year is definitely probably the biggest thing, of just like, here are my pitches, like good luck. And that's just kind of like the biggest thing that's changed for me, is definitely the confidence that I have out there on the mound.
Yeah, well, because last year I can remember having the conversations we had, because you would get like 3-1, 3-0, but now like last game I think you were 7 for 9 first pitch strikes. So you were constantly 0-2, 1-2. If you don't know what that means, and if you don't play baseball, that means 0 balls and 2 strikes, or 0 balls, 1 strike. That's what a first pitch strike would mean. But just even like, your confidence has just changed so much from last year. And that's even what the announcers say, when they're watching you pitch. It talks about how much more confident you look on the mound. And when this episode goes live, you will actually be playing Georgia at home, which would be your biggest, I don't know if challenge is the right word. I guess it's the right word. But what do you feel like you're going to have to, specifically do different against facing a team like that, compared to what you've done so far?
I wouldn't really say anything is going to change preparation wise. Just stick to like my normal routine, and just let that just. I mean, like, I don't think the team kind of dictates how you prepare yourself for something, and that can be applied really in anywhere of life. Like, if you have a normal routine that you do before, like interviews, before going to talk with different people, before like applying for jobs, like if you have like a certain routine and then a bigger job opportunity comes there, you're interviewing somebody else that's a bigger person, then, you're not really going to change your routine for that. And just kind of being confident in what I've been doing in that my routine, and just sticking to that plan is going to work.
I want to talk to y'all for a minute about how I've been starting every morning of mine with AG1 from Athletic Greens. This is a supplement from Athletic Greens that I've been taking every morning before I try to go work out at the gym. And ever since even starting this podcast, I talk a lot about physical health, whether that be bodily or even just nutritionally. And AG1 from Athletic Greens has been something that I've been incorporating into my training regimen that I feel like has really helped me out a lot. I started taking Athletic Greens because I wanted better gut health, I wanted a better immune system, and I honestly just don't like taking pills and vitamins, and I wanted something I could take in a powder form that mixed in a liquid, and that's what I get from AG1 from Athletic Greens. And it tastes delicious, it's smooth, it does not sit hard on your stomach, and it just honestly is awesome. It tastes delicious too. So you may be asking, what's actually in this stuff? Well, with 1 scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to start your day off right. So I personally consume Athletic Greens in the morning before I go to the gym. And if I go work out early, or if my schedule is just kind of off, I like to consume it at some time throughout the day. And my dad actually takes it now too. He really loves it. He rides his little bike every morning, and he feels like it gives him more energy, and he actually does like the taste of it too, which is a big plus. So next week, we're going on a ski trip, and if you've never been skiing before, skiing takes a lot of energy out of you. So if skiing takes a lot of energy out of you, then you need something that gives you energy, and AG1 gives you energy, which is why I'm bringing all the travel packs from Athletic Greens. They come in a little square package, and you just dump it into 12 ounces of water. That's what I like to mix it in, and you just shake it up, and you're good to go. AG1 is also lifestyle friendly. So what that means is whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, it fits into your lifestyle. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. It also supports better sleep quality and recovery. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Huff. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Huff to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. You know, as you kind of shared earlier, you were at Vanderbilt for 2 years, then you transferred to Tech. And if you don't know Chance, he is probably one of the most extroverted people that I know. But I know for a little bit you kind of struggled with community, you know, moving from place to place. So how did you kind of walk that out of finding a good community and kind of, you know, moving out from one town to another in the middle of things with COVID and just, you know, being the new kid on the team kind of thing? How did you walk through finding community?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think community is just kind of a hard thing to find back at Vanderbilt. And like, just because we only did really so much stuff with the baseball team, and there's practices just constantly, not really, and school was hard, just like school is hard here at Georgia Tech. And it is tough to still try and get out there and go to church on Sundays, especially now with season coming up, or especially now with season being in, just with games on Sunday and just trying to kind of fit that in whenever you can with, you know, baseball practice pretty much every day, games on top of homework. But I think really just the biggest thing was Nashville was a lot more. I felt like Nashville was a lot more of kind of like a little older age range than me, kind of like a mid-20s age range. And so whenever I did kind of venture off from campus, there wasn't many connections that an 18-year-old could make with, you know, 24 to 26-year-olds. But then here around campus, there's just been a lot of different like ministries. Like a couple of my good friends on the baseball team, like Ben King, he's invited me to be a part of like a FCA, kind of like an FCA leadership team. And so that's put me in contact with people from the track team, from the football team. So just kind of getting to make good relations that way as well. But yeah, that's what I'd say for just kind of like a better way of finding community is just more so getting involved. I felt like I didn't really feel like it's kind of on me as well. I feel like I didn't necessarily really try as hard to find involvement freshman or sophomore year as I have junior and senior.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you were also in a different spot. I mean, we'll get to that here in a little bit, but more of your spiritual walk and your faith in those things. But you know, so like I said, that you're playing baseball. You train super hard. You are 6'4", about 220, 225. What are you sitting at right now?
Yeah, like 218 right now.
You've lost some weight.
Well, season came. It's tough.
That was just going to ask you. What is your training regimen kind of look like off season compared to during the season?
Off season is definitely a lot easier to try and find times to eat. Like Saturday and Sunday on the weekends, we'll have a game at 2:00 on Saturday and a game at 1:00 on Sunday. So for a 2:00 game, it looks like stretch will be at 11, so 2 hours before. So then you get up to the field at 10 to be there an hour before stretch, which means breakfast at 9. So that means like a wake up at like 8:30, and then just kind of push all that back even an hour on Sunday. Just waking up at 7:30, breakfast at 8, get to the field at 9, stretch at 10 for a game at 1. And, you know, you really don't get that much to eat from from the time you leave breakfast to the time that you're done with the game. So you better pack some snacks.
No, well, maybe more like workout wise, because granted, even though you have a smaller window, you still eat like 5,000 calories a day. What what is your
Maybe.
like training wise? Like how do you train? Like what do you specifically train like off season? Like when we're back home together, you're hitting the gym pretty hard, but you're not hitting the gym that hard necessarily during the season like that, so to speak.
Well, it's kind of different. Being in a starter's position compared to a bullpen role last year, it's a lot easier to kind of work out just because in a bullpen role, especially if you're not getting stretched out like over 2 or 3 innings, like if you just go for 1 inning on Friday night, then you turn around on Saturday, you could be live again on Saturday, live on Sunday. So both of those days, you don't really get to do your workouts because you have to be ready to pitch. So then if you don't pitch any of those days, then it's just kind of like, well, I missed my opportunity to work out. Now I have to get ready for the game on Sunday. Now I have to get ready for the midweek on Tuesday. So then if you pitch on Tuesday, or if you don't, like you don't really get to get a workout in. And then you'll get one in on.
That's why you got so small last year.
You wish. Um, but but no. So being in this starter position now, it's just a little more regimented, which is nice. There hasn't really been a huge shift from the kind of workouts I mean, volume's definitely decreased a little bit just because in season now it's more of a maintaining instead of trying to like gain, I guess, in all of your lifts. Now it's just more of like a point of maintaining. So every 3 weeks I'll have like a new squat exercise to do after on Saturday morning after I pitch Friday night. And, that looks like a light week, a medium week, and a heavy week. And so you get to kind of choose when you want to do that. And then just kind of going from then on. It's just your schedule is a lot more regimented, which allows you to kind of keep workouts just more familiar.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about the idea of like,
Mm-hmm.
because for me, from like a workout standpoint, like there are plenty of days that I don't necessarily want to go to the gym and work out, but I'll push through it and I'll go do it. But for
Mm-hmm.
you, I'm sure you have those days, but in the back of your mind, you're also like the team is relying on you, to keep up to these standards and to keep pushing yourself to do these things. And then at the same time, you're also wanting to go play professional baseball, so that's also a motivator. So do you feel like that idea of like the team is relying on you, for this role, like does that help motivate you like on days that you don't want to go work out, on days that you don't want to go practice and those things, and then even the end goal of wanting to go play professionally?
Um,
Or has that never
I mean, I
crossed
would
your
say,
mind?
I wouldn't really say that those are kind of like factors that push me. Like, I don't know. I think like maybe more so during workouts that weren't in season when I was having to, when I'd have like for my before season started, I have an 8:30 class. I'd have to go work out at 6. That looked like me waking up at 5 to eat breakfast and read in the morning before leaving to go change, and then get up to the weight room at like 5:50 to then be able to go work out, then head to class. Those days is a little more tough to work out. And there's definitely those days where you wake up and it's like, man, I wish that I could just go back to sleep until 7:30 for my class at 8:30. But now that workouts have kind of shifted to during time at practice. So there's really not many times now during the season that I don't want to lift because, I'm just pretty pumped up after I pitch on a Friday night that I don't really have to do much the rest of the weekend except just chart the game. So I'm like, well, heck yeah, I'll go lift.
And you're also trying to catch up to me, so that's also a motivator.
I mean, I'm close. I can't remember what your last squat was, but mine's up there.
What was your last squat?
475.
Well, I mean that's my max too, but
Oh, it sounds like we're a little even.
you have that wider stance though.
No, 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 sir. Not anymore.
When did you hit 475?
Shoot. Back in early January. Just after I pitched on Friday, I got up to 415 for a
For
set of two
one,
and then 2 sets of one.
for
No, 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 no. For a set of two and then 2 sets of one.
Yeah, so like I said, it's the end of it, just one rep though.
That's okay. I just threw like 90 pitches the night
That's
before
okay.
and
That
used my
that
legs. My
that
legs,
that is valid. That is valid. Well,
my,
what
my legs
well,
were
I'm trying to think what you are stronger than me at.
not a whole lot anymore. I used to
That
have the legs, but
you
legs
used to
aren't.
have. I've caught up to you on the legs. I remember when I was doing like 275 and you were ripping at like 400.
Actually, I have you on. I have you on bench.
No, you don't.
Just kidding.
You have me on. You have me on size.
Literally just tallness. That's it now.
No, but you do way more. Since I got food poisoning a few weeks ago, I've lost a lot of weight. Um, we're kind of going off on a tangent, but this is funny stuff. Um, but you've talked about you're at Vanderbilt for 2 years, like I talked about, and for those of you who don't know, you really got serious about your faith about 3 years ago. Um, how, like, what would you say happened for that, like, pivotal change in your life, and how has been following Jesus since then? Has that, helped, like, helped with, because I mean, we've had conversations about this, with baseball of like, you were super honest and you were like, I felt like I had better success at baseball before I was super serious about my faith, and then after I got super serious about my faith, I felt like I wasn't doing as well.
Yeah.
So you've had honest conversations with me about that, but what kind of changed for you? How did you go from that darkness to light, and where was that moment for you?
Yeah. Well, always grew up in the church. Kind of like a similar story as Christian. Just kind of always grew up in the church. And then,
We both thought we were saved because we went to church.
yeah. But then, like then, um, kind of freshman and sophomore year of college, I knew that kind of all the stuff that I was doing wasn't what I should be doing, but I just kind of followed the crowd of, like I'm at college. This is only going to be 4 years of my life. Like I might like I'll have this much longer to go, like and get my life right. But while I'm in college, I'm going to have fun. And just totally looking at life the complete wrong way.
And you also followed in my
Um,
footsteps for a little bit, which wasn't very, which
no,
wasn't
which
very
was,
help, which wasn't very helpful.
yes. And two, I would say another big piece of advice is whenever somebody older than you that's kind of walked down the wrong path and they tell you, like, hey, this isn't how you want to live your life, don't just think to yourself, you're just telling me this because you've already like done it and had your fun.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that
good.
was kind of a big way that I looked at it. Whenever because Christian really changed you really changed, like you really got a lot more into your faith after first
Yeah,
semester of college, right?
yeah. First year of college, like during first year of college.
Yeah. And like I just remember like him trying to talk to me about stuff, and I was just like in my head, I'd just be like, well, you've already gotten to like experience all this, and like that's why like you're just telling me this now. Like I haven't even gotten to like do any of this or necessarily like say like have my like have fun in college. And so I just was kind of looking at it from the complete wrong perspective. So whenever person of an older age, or it could even be a younger age, that has walked down a path that you think could be enjoyable, and it's just like, and it's not the right way of living, then I would just say take that advice with a very open mind and open heart, and not be super cynical towards it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like what, like, was there like one, like for me, for instance, like I said, like I was at that party and it was like a blip of like, I don't want to do this anymore. Was it like a gradual thing for you, in like conversation over conversation, or was there like an aha moment of like, I'm kind of just wasting my life right now?
Yeah, I would definitely say all throughout my freshman and sophomore fall, like every like kind of how I said earlier, everything I knew I was doing, like I knew wasn't like I always felt convicted like every Saturday morning or something after I'd wake up from a Friday night, and and I think just kind of like almost getting numb to that feeling to a point, and then I can't remember exactly which day it was, but I think it was kind of early November, maybe. It was sophomore year, early November. I think it was a Saturday night. Like all my friends were about to be going out, and I had like a big paper due on Monday or maybe Sunday night or something. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna go up to the study hall and like go work on it. Um, and I can't remember what I listened to. I think I listened to a sermon that Christian sent me. Um, and I think that was just kind of like my aha moment, just like listened to it. And I was just sitting in like a little cubicle study room all by myself and like just like broke down and was like, what have I even been doing for the past year and a half?
I don't even
Um,
think I know that story. That's awesome.
yeah, you do. I've told you that before.
Yeah, but not being in a cubicle and breaking down. You
Yes,
haven't.
I have.
You
But
haven't.
anyways, I have. But anyways, that was just kind of like my aha moment. And then kind of talked with Christian shortly after um, about getting baptized and whatnot, and that was pretty cool. It was on the night. Was it on y'all's rehearsal dinner? Yeah, it was on. It was on the rehearsal. It was after the rehearsal dinner for Christian and Sadie. We had like a worship night at Camp Chioka, and there's a pool nearby, and so I got to get baptized by Christian in the pool in freezing
Yeah, that
cold
was an
water, which was
awesome
pretty
moment.
cool. That was when Christian was a little small and he couldn't quite bring me up out of the water. He dropped me.
The pool is like 3 feet deep, and you're 6'4", so
You know,
you're
I
gonna
had to
you're
bend.
gonna show up to you're gonna show up to heaven with no belly.
I had to bend up. I had to bend over backwards.
You're gonna have no stomach.
That'd be nice.
But it's even cool because, like, when we were both, I guess you could say, living super worldly, and then fast forward to where I'm starting to pursue a relationship with Jesus, but then you're super worldly. And then now on the flip side of all that, where we're both pursuing a relationship with Jesus, it's just cool to see even like our relationship, how much closer we've gotten after we both gotten super serious about our faith. Because I don't know, it's just been cool to like see our relationship progress after we both got serious about faith.
No, I would definitely agree. It's been really cool and just kind of getting to grow closer in things that actually matter.
Yeah. But we've talked about your off-season routine comparatively to during the season training, and even just you just talking about, on Sunday mornings when you have a 1 o'clock game, then that means 7 o'clock wake up call. Then before that, to have breakfast at 8. How do you like? What are your go-to things to keep your relationship with Jesus strong, and how do you feel like that changes during season compared to off season? Because I'm sure off season you have more time, to try to go read or cultivate that relationship in a sense. 'Cause I feel like during the season you can be kind of, you're focused on getting all your things done for your physical health to perform well, but at the same time, you wanna be healthy spiritually. So how do you feel like those two compare?
Honestly, it's pretty crazy. I felt like it was a lot easier to read in the off season and I mean, I know that that may seem like, oh, well, no duh, but off season was pretty much every day, wake up at 5 to read before a 6 or 6:30 lift. So wake up at 5, read, um, and wake up and read, and then go to lift, then come back, make more food, then have a full day of class, and then go to practice, and then come back and then do homework, and then read at night, which is kind of the same routine that I still have now. I like to read my Bible in the morning, and then just like read different books that I have at night. But definitely now that it's kind of getting into the season, your body's just so much more tired than it was even whenever I was waking up at like 5 every day. Pretty much, it's kind of crazy just to see like how much of a toll that games take on you, even whenever you're not really doing anything for them. But so I'd say it's kind of just still the same thing. Like I still try and wake up and read in the mornings. And I'm doing this Bible plan right now where it's kind of like 4 different chapters of a book a day. And so I'll read two in the morning. I try and read all four in the morning, but if like I can only read two, then I'll read two in the morning, two at night. And then if I do wind up being able to read all four chapters in the morning, then at nighttime I'll read I'm reading a book called Until Unity right now by Francis Chan. So I'll read that, and then just kind of different days there are different things. Sometimes at night, like I'll bring my Bible into bed and read my Bible, or sometimes I'll read from my book at night, like if I miss reading the Bible in the morning.
Do you ever listen to like worship music throughout the day, like for your on your like going to classes and stuff?
Not really going to classes as much, just because all my classes are in one building, and so it's literally like a 1 minute walk to another class, and I moped from the apartment to the room, and then from the room right to the field. So there's really not much.
Are you allowed to wear headphones while you moped? Is that illegal?
I don't know. I mean, they probably can't see I got a helmet on.
So if you're ever in Atlanta and you see somebody who is as the size of Chance on a moped that's probably half the size of one he needs, then you will see Chance.
I have a pretty cool helmet too.
Give him a wave.
Yeah, give me a little wave if you're in the 404. But but no, I do listen to worship music in the mornings too, and that's kind of like a big part of what I like to do on Fridays. So I have no class on Fridays, and Fridays are my start days. So I'll wake up at like 8:30, and just kind of turn on some worship music on the TV, make some breakfast, and then just kind of sit there and read with worship music going on. And then I'll go do yoga at like 10:30. And then I'll come back, music's still on. So then I'll just like kind of just sit there and read. Even I'll scroll through social media at times, and it's just still nice to have that worship music on in the back, or turning worship music on in the showers in the morning or at night. Just kind of finding ways to fit that in throughout the day.
What is your yoga? I didn't know you do yoga on Fridays before your game. What does your yoga routine look like?
It's a 20-minute full body stretch with her YouTube channel is called Sarah Beth Yoga. Pretty good.
I see is somebody like, is this on your own accord, or is somebody leading you through it, or is this?
It's a YouTube channel of this lady named Sarah Beth kind of walking you through all the different yoga poses.
Is anybody joining you in this, or is this just you by yourself?
Nope, just me by myself up at the weight room.
Well, when I'm in town for one of your games, I should come do this with you.
You couldn't hang.
I couldn't, because Chance, like I said, I've mentioned Chance's size a bunch.
Oh, I got the flexibility on Christian.
Chance hit the splits at our wedding and ripped his pants in half.
True story.
That is a true story.
And I sent them back. So Christian got us a deal for all the groomsmen tuxes from this company, and you had to, like, after you got done wearing it, you had to put it back in the box and send it back. And so I just sent back the pants like ripped in half from like literally like the waistband all the way almost like up under my crotch area, and we didn't even get charged for it.
Did it? You rip your pants at another wedding?
No, I've only been to like 2 weddings.
But I feel like you've ripped your pants at something else before.
No,
you haven't.
First pair of pants ever ripped. I knew it too. I knew I was gonna rip those pants. I could feel it.
You ordered them too tight on purpose.
No, bro. I just got the pants that fit me in the waist. They weren't ready for what was underneath them.
Oh my gosh, or the flexibility of someone who's too tall to be and too big to be wearing those pants. But you've talked about Maya. She's your fiance. She's awesome. You have a fiance. You're a full-time student. You're a D1 athlete. You follow Jesus. How do you balance all these things? Because I know that's something that you walk through, and you even just going from dating to engagement and trying to plan a wedding, and the uncertainty of being drafted to where. So how do you feel like you balance all these things in your life?
It can definitely get tough at times, especially just whenever, because there are times when like it's tough to read. Like you wake up on Monday from like this morning. Today is Monday. Yeah, today's Monday, and
Well, we're recording this on Monday.
I know. Well, see, that's what happens. The days just get crazy. Well, because our off days are usually Monday, but we had a doubleheader on Saturday, so so we had a doubleheader on Saturday, so we didn't play Sunday. So like now my whole week's like out of whack
Out of
now.
whack.
Yeah. But so I think definitely whenever I just try and do it all on my own, it gets really tough. Like whenever I'll wake up in the mornings at like 7 for my 8:30 class to wake up and read and the morning, and then just kind of like if I fall into that pattern of snoozing the alarm back to 8 and then waking up and hurrying up and getting ready for class and missing out on breakfast, just not getting to eat kind of until the end of the day, and just not really putting God first in that, it can definitely get tough at times. Like it just really seems like everything's harder. It feels like trying to deal with distance is harder. Finding time to communicate with Maya gets tougher. Like it just kind of throws your whole day out of whack almost. Just whenever you kind of fall into that habit of of like almost like putting yourself before God is kind of how I would look at it. Just like, oh, I can read later today. Like I need more sleep. But then I just know later on in the day, I'm probably not going to read because then I'm going to be tired. And then I'm like, well, I'll read in the morning because I'm tired now. So then I'll go to bed. And then it can just be really like once you kind of fall into that pattern, it can be easy to fall into it for like a week or so. And you're like, wait, whoa, like I've like barely read it all this week.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, even with that, like that's what's so nice about, that idea of like, it's actually a relationship, that we have with God. So it's like, I mean, my days are so sporadic and every day looks different and we're about to be traveling a good bit. So it's like, I might not get to necessarily read every day, but at some form, I have some form of communication with God, whether it's through, prayer, whether it's through worship, whether it's through actual physically getting to read, or if it's just through conversations. Like if I'll talk to a friend, we'll talk for 30 minutes about spiritual things and, what God is teaching us, and like even like that's a form that brings you closer to God, So I feel like for a lot of people, it's like, you have to do like this set routine every single day, and it's like, it doesn't have to be the same thing every day because that's what's beautiful about it being a relationship. Like he's not even for you, like if you forget to read tomorrow and you're 4 chapters behind, he's not like, Chance, like you need to read 8 chapters today to catch back up. Like, it doesn't work like that. And that's what's so beautiful about it, because it's like he just wants intimacy with you, whatever that looks like. It doesn't have to be reading, but reading's an awesome thing because it is, the word. But it is also nice because it frees you up to like not feel like he's, like this authoritarian. Is that the
Authoritarian
like he's this,
or
like,
authoritative.
there you go. Thanks. Chances at Georgia Tech, he's smarter. But I mean, so I have definitely laughed harder during this podcast than anyone I have done so far. And as we're wrapping up and coming to a close, I want to, well, first off, thank you for being on the podcast because you have so much wisdom and you're also super relatable, and you're just a good friend. So I'm glad to have had you on. And I also want to ask you to give a physical and a spiritual challenge for us to go out and to do this week.
Okay, so spiritual challenge, just because I feel like maybe prayer can get away from you throughout the day. Just kind of running around like crazy with tons of different things on your mind. I've been waking up 5 minutes earlier to wake up in the morning and pray just before I get my day started. So that's what that's my spiritual challenge is wake up, set your alarm for 5 minutes earlier than you usually do and wake up and pray, just first thing in the morning.
Love that.
And for physical challenge, I got 2. So what are your thoughts?
Okay.
So
2 options.
First one, yeah. So first one would be, grab a friend, like invite a friend to work out, and just kind of push each other through the workout. Because good, healthy competition is always a great thing. Like whenever Christian's in town, when we go work out together, like we always push each other, and it's just super fun.
Yeah, we make each other stronger.
Exactly. So grab a friend, and then you can also build community that way as well, and have good conversations in the weight room. So yes, I'd say first one would be grab a friend and work out. And second one would be to do like like spend 5 to 10 minutes on like soft tissue muscle recovery. Just kind of like rolling out with a lacrosse ball or like a.
Hold on. You can't say soft tissue muscle recovery with a straight face. Don't. What? Okay, first off, what is soft tissue muscle recovery? And
well, first off, soft tissue muscle recovery is something that you could use because you're super tight. So it's just something for it's kind of something like you grab like a little lacrosse ball. Like right now, I'm rolling out my feet, just sitting here talking. I'm rolling out the feet.
That's what that noise is. I'm just joking. You can't hear any noise.
I was like, or like a foam roller. Like you kind of grab a foam roller, like roll out your hamstrings, quads, IT band, your back, your lats, whatever's sore. Okay. Or like a Theragun or something like that. And, you roll it out, and I don't really know like the many benefits of it. But
we'll give you listening, whoever is listening to this, we will give you the option to either go grab a friend and work out or incorporate soft tissue muscle recovery into your regimen this week. So that can either look like, a Theragun massage, or that can look like using a lacrosse ball on your feet if you have run a lot, or it could even look out foam rolling your quads or your hamstrings. Or
you can foam roll. You can foam roll anything. You can lacrosse ball anything.
If I were to foam roll my back, would that still be considered soft tissue muscle recovery?
Yeah. Soft tissue muscle recovery. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying I just don't think about my back having that much soft tissue. I think about like
muscles.
I think about like my legs.
Whatever. You're just rolling out muscles. Just go roll out muscles on whatever you can find.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Soft tissue muscle recovery, grabbing a friend to work out, setting your clock to 5 minutes earlier than you normally work out to pray. I know a lot of people right now are playing Wordle, which I am also on that train. I'm on that train. And before you play Wordle, pray for 5 minutes. So
I actually have just a kind of Wordle quick tip. One of my friends on the baseball team, Cole McNamee, currently has one of the most impressive streaks I've seen. 47-0 right now. He's on a 47-day win streak. So
really,
try and top that, everybody listening.
Have you never not gotten the word?
Well, I downloaded like an actual game. It's called Word Us, and so it's kind of like an unlimited Wordle.
Yeah, Sadie plays that all the time. But
yeah, exactly.
I don't think I haven't missed like the actual one yet. So I don't know what my streak is, but I haven't missed the actual one yet.
You can check.
All right, well I'll be checking. Chance, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys liked this podcast today. This was just a fun conversation, and I know that you're going to get a ton out of it. So, Chance, thanks for joining us on the 4-8 Men podcast, and can't wait to see how you do tonight because this will go live on Friday, and I'm excited to watch you do your thing.
Hey, thanks, Cree. All right, thank y'all for having me, and thank you for letting me be the 14th guest on here.
Well, it wasn't the 14th. It was just you just weren't top 10, but that's no hard feelings. All right, I love you.
All right, love you. Bye.